to everyone on the 360 side and also on the Rightmarket side as well, taking the time to join us. And obviously, yeah, we're really excited about showcasing this partnership with Third Light and obviously introducing you to Carol, and then also deep diving into the integration into their Chorus solution as well. So just a couple of bits, agenda points. I have got a couple of slides where I'm just going to touch on a few points about the partnership and why it was formed. And then very quickly, want to be getting over to Carol from Third Light so she can introduce herself and the Chorus product to you. And within that, Carol will be going through a live demo of the Chorus digital asset management product that they have. And then, once Carol is finished, I'll jump back in and show a brief overview of the actual integration that we have with a live customer site. And that will be a charity, Diabetes UK, who are one of the first joint customers that we had between us. And then to finish off, obviously, if anyone has any questions, we can happily answer them at the end, and also, set the scene around some next steps for those that are interested in knowing more about Third Light Chorus and the integration itself. So yeah, like I say, the partnership, the first thing really that we realized kind of early on was that ROI360, Rightmarket, and Third Light, we all have a shared mission, right? And that mission is to help marketing and creative teams worldwide put time back into their busy lives. So as you know, what we do on the 360 and the Rightmarket side is, we have a solution that helps brands, charities, and organizations by automating the production of marketing artwork at scale, right? And what Chorus do and what they can do is they streamline content workflows, helping you create, sync, manage, and control your brand assets. So really that kind of led us on to the fact that we have complementary technology, and it made sense that they were integrated together for additional benefits to brands. Like I say, we're now sitting at 4 existing mutual customers that have both systems integrated together. And from both sides of the fence, we always had regular requests for each other's functionality. So on the sort of the storefront Rightmarket side, it was, how do you manage imagery and handle assets? And then from the Third Light side, it was, how do we put those assets to good use via a marketing template? What about templating? So that naturally came together to form this partnership. And it also helps the fact that we're both based in Cambridgeshire, so on each other's doorsteps. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Carol now to introduce herself and take it from here, Carol.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you to everyone for attending. I am accompanied by my work colleague. So Third Light, our digital asset management application called Chorus. I guess some of you are wondering why DAM, and also would our customers benefit from it? Well, the good news is that you can have an evaluation site and try everything I'm about to go through. I'm open to chat afterwards. My colleague and I would love to catch up. So you can see my open calendar link is given in the webinar chat. So if I may take 20 minutes or so of your time, let's talk about DAM. So first and foremost, DAM is a company's single source of truth for all of their digital assets. So that's their images, their videos, their audio, and their documentation. And the initial interest might be marketing or comms teams or designers, photographers, content managers who are controlling rights, consent, approval, digital agencies, print service providers. It doesn't really matter. The industry is not important. It's more about what those people's workflow is. So I'll put an emphasis that with DAM, security and control are never compromised. Users' actions are always audited. So Dropbox, SharePoint, shared drives, all of these have a place, but the people who tend to come to us are managing media content, and they seem to get to the point where they feel that they need specialist tools. Otherwise, they waste time and they lose control. For example, in managing consent with expiry dates, approval workflow, versioning. So Dropbox, SharePoint, shared drives, and so on. For managing consent, expiry dates, as I was saying, So externally, people might want to person-to-person control by sharing a link directly to a specified email address, or in a situation where distribution is top priority over managing identity, they may want to share a public or direct link, maybe to press or buyers, or even onto a CRM or a website. So our application called Chorus is design-led. Within our 20 or so design, development, support and customer-facing teams here in Cambridge, detail really does matter to us. Hosting can be on our own private cloud or self-hosted on what we call our data center edition. Shared project folders and file syncing means real work can get done without having to leave the platform. That's our aim, to save people time. So no more time wasting, uploading, downloading, changing file format, using WeTransfer, and all of those things. So let's take a look at Chorus. I'm just going to share my screen. And the first thing you'll see is actually a diagram which is looking at the life cycle of an asset. So photographers, designers, managers, it takes many pairs of hands and countless stages to create what looks to the outside world like simple sales and marketing materials. You as Rightmarket or ROI customers would appreciate that. In a moment, we'll take a look at how Dan takes care of the back and forth that slows down the delivery of many creative projects. You may be asking, well, who benefits from a DAM? Well, the answer to that is everyone, as there's no longer files scattered to the wind. They can be future-proofed and become of value to the company, giving return on investment. So let's take our first glimpse at our application called Chorus. So why waste time having to type? You can find files through a visual search this is called the facet bar. So if I want to find all the files with a predominant blue background, for example, I can apply a blue filter. Or maybe it is groupings that you're interested in. So I can, in this case, obviously it's animals, but that could be the people in a company or the division in the company. You can group things together according to the tags, or as we call it, metadata that you apply. Or maybe we want to look at the date that these bird pictures were created. And you can see here that we've just added an additional filter that is showing the years. So maybe we want the files that were created in 2019. There we go, it's a robin. If we look more closely at this file, we can zoom in. At the center stage, we can pan through. And you can also see the permission filters. So permission is important in this scenario. Who has permission to see these files? Or maybe we want to see the date that these files were last changed, or the GPS position, whatever it may be. File servers, Dropbox and SharePoint simply don't have the tools to be able to do this. So maybe much like you're used to with a playlist or a campaign or a print run, you might want to group these files in a collection, a temporary grouping of files, probably to share and then in the future delete. Or maybe in the new catalog that you're making, you want to pull all of the blue files together. So if we go back to color and back to our animal classes and our birds, we can see that we have got the ability to filter and to find all of the blue files. But this time we are going to save these files. So rather than just having them as in folders, which can have benefit, we are going to put all of the blue files into the same place. So to do this, we're going to just press save and have a saved collection. Now you can see here that it is the search for files matching these conditions, but we could, of course, add other conditions to that as well. So let's just press save. So as new files are added or deleted to this container, it will dynamically update according to whether the search conditions are met. Only yesterday, I visited a new customer in Cambridge who had sent out a link of this type to press with all the approved assets. He said it had been published 160 times across the world and only had 3 emails into his inbox. What a time saver. So looking more closely at our files, you can see that we can just scroll through them. We mentioned that there would be no more uploading or downloading. So let's take a look at making a virtual file associated to the original without taking up any additional storage. This is great for if you want to have the same assets in different places. Maybe different departments have different needs. Maybe they need different sizes, different tags. Maybe they want to file them in different ways. It's really flexible. The feature is called derivatives, and derivatives can be made manually, as I am doing here, or they can set presets. So you can see this is a JPEG, and you might want to change the file format, the to fit the color spacing. But possibly what saves time is to have different presets, maybe for converting to a JPEG, a PDF, or whatever your needs may be. So if we just click on there, you can see that it will very quickly change the size of those files. So all of the work that we have done so far has been in our own private area. By that, I mean that every user on Chorus has their own desktop. And what we want to do now is to move to where we have a shared area. So you'll see here, control is set by who can see what. It's set by permissions. It's no longer a private area, but it's viewable by a team of people. So let's just have a look at this first shared space that we've got here. So you can see here that I am a manager, and I also have my content manager here. This is like a virtual team or project area of which I am a member. And my permissions is that I am able to view, upload, download, tag, search, share. Note that I am also an administrator, so I can have an overview on all of the shared projects and areas within this site. But these are the people who are able to view the assets that we are going to upload. So notice that this person can only upload with approval, whereas this person can upload freely and download, and this person here can view only. So let's start the life cycle of the asset by uploading some files to this shared space. So you can see we have now got some files starting to upload. So while that's happening, let's just have a closer look at the workflows and who might be interested in using this system. Photographers complain about the speed of file transfer. Sometimes they're using WeTransfer, sometimes they're even using USB sticks. Designers complain about hundreds of images randomly numbered. Marketing people have a constantly pinging inbox of requests from people who could self-service if they could just control the permissions, and so it goes on. These files, which we've now almost got uploaded, we can see at a glance that some of them are stock images. Another quick win is to use the folder directory, this folder search. So here we're now able to just type the top level folder and you can see immediately. So a salesperson of this imaginary toy company that we have here, there's a PowerPoint that they need whilst out on the road. They can immediately find that PowerPoint. And the marketing person has just updated the price list today. So they can immediately get the right revision and not have the wrong version of that file. This site has only 6 folders uploaded, so I think it would be good to dig deeper into the world of a marketing person. So let's move in a moment to a more mature Chorus site, which we have here. So we have 2 shared areas here, a marketing team shared area, and also a shared area where the whole of the company can view their files, or maybe view and download, depending on what permissions and what roles have been given, which the marketing team can then share from their marketing shared area into the Ticklish Media Hub for the whole of the Ticklish Toys company. Let's dive into a few of the marketing team's workflow around approval from the legal team and from the directors, maybe also consent for the photographers to use for print. Whatever it is, this can be all of the marketing's workflow can be controlled from here. So we have the teams, the shared areas that the marketing person is working with. One point of interest is the freelancers to upload. So we have a person here called Tanya Brown, and she is an external user. So within Chorus, you are able to have admins, you're able to have full-blown trusted users, and also external users. So maybe they are guest users, they're freelancers, they're agencies, they're distributors, they're partners. The point with Chorus is that there is no limit to the number of user accounts that you can create within Chorus. And sometimes you want people like your freelancer photographers only to be able to see what you want them to see in their world. So here we might have shared this folder with the marketing person and given them the permissions that we want them to have just on this folder. And the consequence of that is that here's Tanya Brown. She only sees what she needs to see on that folder share. She doesn't see anything else. And so it is that Tanya Brown is able to upload her photographs into our different photo shoots. And maybe also she wants to be able to communicate with, let's say, the events manager, which is doing an event at Harrods soon. I like these for the banner for the Harrods event. And you can see also that Tanya has put a couple of smiley faces on here for which are her favourites. The event manager that we've just spoken about, they might want to be able to see those files in what's called a published link. So they might not want to actually be a member of the site, but they might be a published link accessor. So photography, how about approval workflows? The toy industry is competitive and brand is everything. The director and the legal teams have to sign off all artwork before it can go out onto the public domain. And the workflow is managed by those dynamically populated collections which are controlled by tags assigned, like we looked at before, where you're searching for a certain criteria. So going back to those saved searches, which automate workflow, we can see that there is a workflow here going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So the director, his files that are being sent to him, I've got ticklish approved matching director pending. So on the files, they've been tagged with director pending. That would automate the workflow to go only to the director. Or here, we can see that this search has got more than one condition. It contains director, ticklish approval labels contains legal. So if we go to the person in the legal team, it would be that they would be seeing only their legal proof. So let's just look at the world of the director in this scenario. So here you can see this is Raymond Cullen, the director. He is immediately seeing the files that he needs to approve. And you can see that it says director pending. These are examples of labels. Labels are a type of tag that is just visual. So he can either choose one or he can choose many to approve. And using these labels, he can add that he is going to approve them. And then he might want to pass that on to the next phase, which, if you remember, is that it is going to be pending, and then that would then take that back to the legal person to approve. Maybe once it's gone through the whole approval system, and in this case that is identified by 2 double ticks, so it's been fully approved, it's a fully approved collection, they might then to be populating an e-commerce platform, or in this example that we can see here for the Royal Albert Hall, the press section of the website is being populated by one of those saved searches. So let's take a quick look now at consent. Consent workflow, GDPR. Never a subject you should rush, so let me know if you want to spend more time on this and jump onto my calendar link that you've got shared in the web chat. But in brief, labels and saved collections being used for important visual messages. So you can see here pictures of children, do not use until permission granted. So far, we have been in what we call the pinboard view, but we're just going to go on to a different view, which is called list view, which is maybe more of a working area where you're able to see more clearly things that you are particularly focused on. So we've got here ticklish people. All of the company employees have been uploaded to here, and you can see now that we can see at a glance the things that are important for for consent being controlled. We can see the status of the employee, name of employee, consent. In this scenario, thumbs up means that it has got consent, thumbs down means it hasn't. And we can also see the copyright status of these files. Just above that, we can also see what files are expiring in 2021. So this is all controlled by tagging files and by making these special saved collections to automate the workflow. So lastly, the design agency have been in touch with the marketing person or the print service, and they have an issue. They have an issue because their production workflow, they're losing control of versioning, and they are also spending too much time uploading and downloading their files and getting their versions approved. So they're just getting frustrated. So the marketing person has an idea. They have made the design agency a special shared area. And the marketing person has uploaded a new project that they want to work on called Puggles Design, which you can see just here. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to share the new project with the team that we want to work with. So let's do that now. I had forgotten to unsync it, so we'll just sync it again. So if I press sync just here, within Chorus, it's possible for teams like directors who don't have Adobe or Sketch to preview designs. But if you're a designer, then normally you would want to work on your hard drive because you're working with big files, right? So this is where our app, which is available for Windows and Macs, comes into play. This allows us, as you can see here, to synchronize files to our desktop. So everyone's happy. The designers are able to open files on their desktop using InDesign or Photoshop or Illustrator. And the people who haven't got Adobe InDesign Illustrator are able to preview these files. So that's a Photoshop file on their desktop within the DAM, the cloud DAM rather. So back to the hard drive, which we've got just here. So understand that each member of the design team who are working on this project would have synchronized their files to their desktop. And by doing so, every edit that is made within that team, the members would get notification. So as the designer, whatever my preferred editing application, it doesn't really matter. I can open and edit the files. The copywriter who's maybe using Word can open and edit the files in Word, but we are all working together on this project. So let's just open up a Photoshop file and make no update and no uploading, no downloading. I can make an edit. So the toy revolution starts here. I just made that change. and without uploading or downloading, when I press save, what will happen is that that will be saved onto my desktop, but also onto the desktop of my colleagues who are working on this project together. And the magic of this is that when I press save, not only will it make the latest version on my desktop, as you'll see, but it's also going to update the version in the cloud into Chorus, and it's going to make me a new version. So you'll see now that on my hard drive, I have the new version. You can see the synchronizer is synchronizing that file now to the cloud. And in a moment, I will have that new version good to go. So now I have my latest version, and maybe the sales team are not using the old copy, which is a bit of a problem if they are, especially if it's all pricing. And you can see here also that I can go back and revisit the previous versions. So just to finish, I did say at the beginning that every action I am going to perform is audited. So every action I have performed in the last 20 minutes has been audited in the activity tab, where you can keep an eye on your project's progress, where every edit, share, download is recorded and searchable. You can jump onto a specific date. And also the statistics dashboard, which reports the bigger picture and can help on return on investment to see how your files are being used. So there we go. Thanks, Dave. And as I said,
Carol.
Happy to have a chat with anyone, as is my colleague, in the future if you'd like to do so. So over to you, Dave.
Wonderful. Thanks, Carol. Appreciate that. So yeah, guys, just to finish off then, all I'm going to now do is show you from a front end, from a storefront and Rightmarket perspective, what the integration looks like, right? So you'll know storefront. This is a Rightmarket storefront instance that we see on screen for Diabetes UK that have currently got all of the great stuff that Carol's just gone through, and then also a front end system as well. So just to put our hats on, we are now a fundraiser from a local level. We're logging into the system. Let's say we're now going to go and create a poster, and we are going to create a poster based on one of the latest, greatest recipes that are good for diabetics. So again, you all know on the call how the system works, but essentially where we now start to see the Chorus integration kick in is when we start to select images. So we'll come along, we'll select an image, and what you'll see within the image library is there is a select from Chorus button now. So when I click on that, that is now referencing all of the images and assets that I am allowed to see based on my user permissions within the front end system. So the fact that I can only see this media library is everything that's approved to me, and obviously just backing up all the permission-based stuff that Carol showed you shortly. So let's say, okay, we're now going to go along to the food category, and we're now going to choose an image that we're going to place within the document. So let's say we're going to select this one. We can then come along, select image, how you would normally select an image within the image library, but we're now pulling from Chorus. That's now pulled that asset through from Chorus. And again, we can come along, crop it if we want to, using all the functionality that's there. And then we can then place that into the template. So very, very short and sweet from an actual integration point of view. We're pulling those assets through. The other thing that I want to show you as well is now if we're logged in as, say, a super user, when we then go through that same process of going to customize a template, so we go back to the generic poster. When I then go to select from image options within this user and select from Chorus, you'll now see that I have a lot more different categories that I can choose from. And that is purely because all of those permissions that Chorus controls are now reflected through onto storefront, into Rightmarket as well. So really, why is it sort of, just to double down an overview, I suppose, why is it important to use both? Well, as Carol's just demonstrated, Chorus is an amazing tool at storing and managing assets, controlling who sees and uses what, etc., and what people can have access to. And combining that with storefront / Rightmarket, what you're actually then sort of doing is you're enabling those assets to be put to use and to work harder. You're now putting those assets into the hands of certain users that can now do marketing at a local level. And like I say, really, really put them to use. So it's all about controlling brand consistency at a much broader level. And you control the content with Chorus and then control the artwork side with ROI360 and Rightmarket. And generally what we expect to see is brands that sort of link the two together. Essentially, they're going to do a lot more marketing at a lot lower cost and a lot more efficient. So just to finish off now, I really appreciate everyone's time. Just thought I'd share with you a client testimonial that we had from Sylvia, who's the Senior Creative Manager at Diabetes UK. I hope obviously this overview made sense. Again, the main reasons by linking up Chorus, 360 and Rightmarket has completely transformed their marketing operations. Their entire team now has instant access to those assets and allows them to create on-brand materials within minutes. And, they see that they can't ever go back to the manual ways of doing things. So really, really great to see the value there that's been brought to diabetes. So that's it. Again, obviously, if you're interested in knowing more about Third Light, Carol shared her Calendly link in the chat. So please click on that and book a call if you wish to. You'll also see Carol's details on screen, and there will be a recording of the webinar that gets sent round. So anyone that wishes to watch stuff back, they can. And of course, we encourage you guys to go check out Third Light's website and book a demo if that's of interest. And anyone that maybe wants to just talk about the integration from our side of the fence more specifically, then of course from the 360 side, please just reach out to me. You'll have my contact details. And if you're on the Rightmarket side, please reach out to Matthew and Manuel. So yeah, Carol, appreciate your time today. Appreciate everyone's time in joining us, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye.